Naperville has a funny way of looking finished right before it changes once again. You drive through downtown, you see the Riverwalk, the neighborhoods, schools, shopping centers, and you think, all right, this city is pretty much built out. There's nothing else that could be done. But behind the scenes, planning and development are taking shape to improve outdated infrastructure and turn vacant lots into something actually spectacular. Right now, Naperville has new townhomes moving toward construction, a major apartment project approved on the far south side, a debate over whether one of the area's historic farmhouses should be moved or preserved, and downtown Naperville, where the Walgreens site is being marketed as a redevelopment opportunity, and renewed talk about a 500-space parking deck near Nichols Library. These projects are not just about buildings. They affect traffic, walkability, school demand, downtown business strength, and ultimately the property values. So today, let's break down what is new and coming soon to Naperville, because if you are a Naperville local, these projects will change the nature of Naperville for many years to come. Let's get into it. This is What's Happening Chicago, where we look at the infrastructure, development, and the transportation along with the local projects shaping Chicagoland before they become the old news stories of yesteryear. And with Naperville, the conversation is almost always never simple. People want growth and more housing, but they don't want too much density. And locals want a thriving downtown with the ability to find a parking spot before they miss their dinner reservation. So let's start with the housing project that's actually moving forward this summer. The first project is Everly Trace of Naperville. It's a new townhome community from MI Homes. This development is planned for 111th Street between Route 30 and Route 59 in southwest Naperville. MI Homes has closed on the land acquisition, and land development is expected to begin this summer, with the very first homes deliveries expected in early 2027. Now, this project includes 68 townhouses on about 10 acres, with homes ranging from 1,700 to more than 2,300 square feet, offering 2 to 3 bedrooms, 2.5 to 3 full bathrooms, and some plans with basement options. This is also notable because it's MI Homes' third Naperville townhome project in less than 1 year. They also purchased land for North Woods of Naperville, a 64 townhome development, and received approval for Benton plus Main, which will bring 11 luxury townhomes next to Mason Sabika near the downtown district. That tells us something pretty important. Builders are utilizing Naperville's ranking of #1 city in America to buy a home and the #1 best city to live in America, while clearly seeing strong demand for lower maintenance housing in Naperville and a healthy return on their investment. And that makes sense because not everybody moving to Naperville wants a 4,000 square foot house, a giant yard, and a Saturday relationship with mulch and weeds. Some people want the schools, the safety, the parks, the reputation, and the location, but they don't necessarily want the maintenance burden that comes along with the traditional single-family home. This type of product appeals to a few groups of people at once: young families, busy professionals, relocation buyers, and downsizers who want to stay in Naperville but simplify their lifestyle. From a real estate standpoint, this is important because it adds supply, but not necessarily the kind of supply that competes directly with every existing homeowner. For nearby single-family neighborhoods, this could actually help reinforce demand because it gives buyers more ways to enter or stay in the area. The biggest question will be pricing once pre-sales begin. Indicators say units will start around $500,000, and then add-ons and finishes will vary from there. If you're trying to understand how new construction near your neighborhood could affect your home's value, make sure to reach out. Sometimes new development helps nearby values, sometimes it creates a bit of pricing pressure, and it really depends on the location, the product type, and demand pool. For Southwest Naperville, this one should be watched closely because it shows continued confidence in the Route 59 and 111th Street corridor. Now let's move to the central west end of Naperville because this one is a bigger density play. Naperville City Council approved the Atlas, a 5-story apartment development near Route 59, 5th Street area. The project includes 236 units with studios, 1-bed and 2-bedroom units. It's planned on nearly 4.5 acres with roughly another 2 acres along Route 59 for future commercial development. This area and this building is designed with the working professional in mind and includes amenities like an outdoor terrace, pool and patio, a dog run, fitness center, co-working lounge, games, and an entertainment lounge. Now, apartment projects tend to make people nervous, with the concern being the added traffic, increased density, school impacts, and whether the project changes the character of the area. But the unit mix matters here. When a development is heavily weighted towards studios and one-bedroom apartments, that usually suggests a smaller household profile compared to a project full of 3-bedroom units, so the school impact may not be as dramatic as people assume, although traffic and infrastructure could have a heavy impact. The bigger picture is this: Naperville is trying to create more housing options for people who want to live near retail, restaurants, recreation, and major corridors without buying a house immediately. That matters for the housing market because rentals can become a feeder system. Someone rents in Naperville, gets used to the parks, the schools, the commute, the restaurants, and the routine. And then when they're ready to buy, Naperville is already where they want to be and stay. So from a homeowner perspective, this doesn't automatically hurt property values. In fact, if done well, it can support long-term demand by keeping people connected to the city. The risk always comes back to the execution. If it's a bad design with poor traffic planning or too much density in the wrong spot, it can create pushback, but a well-located apartment project near major retail corridors can actually strengthen the broader Naperville ecosystem. Now let's get into one of the most interesting downtown Naperville pieces, the Walgreens site at 400 South Main Street. This isn't just another storefront changing hands. This is a 2-acre downtown Naperville redevelopment opportunity marketed by CBRE. Now, the site includes over 30,000 square feet of existing building space, and current retailers listed on the site include Walgreens, AT&T, JC Licht, and Hot Yoga of Naperville. Now, CBRE's listing describes the property as a downtown riverfront redevelopment opportunity located in a highly affluent market. Now, this site is also zoned across B4 Downtown Core District and B5 Secondary Downtown District, and I could see someone coming in with a plan for commercial along the first floor and residential condos up top, especially with accessibility to the Metro train station about 1 mile away, and quick access to the highway and various business districts in the area. And this could be exactly the type of site that could become a major turning point for downtown Naperville, because large redevelopment parcels downtown are rare. Naperville added Water Street in 2016 and has added smaller projects here and there ever since, but Naperville doesn't have unlimited blank land sitting around the Naperville Riverwalk waiting for someone to figure it out. So when a site like this becomes available, the stakes are that much higher. The right project could add more residential density, more retail, better street level energy, and a stronger downtown connectivity, especially since this part of the Riverwalk is underutilized already. And I feel now that the Washington Street Bridge project has been completed, this project will be much more desirable. Now, I will admit the wrong project could add to the traffic headaches and parking pressure in downtown, leading to additional complaints from the locals. So let me know in the comments what you would like to see developed in this section of downtown Naperville. But from a property value standpoint, Naperville redevelopment is usually a major demand driver when it improves walkability and the overall experience. People pay a premium to be near a vibrant downtown, and that's not a theory. This is what you see in Naperville and across the western Chicago suburbs, where the downtown has become part of the lifestyle brand. Especially if you add the right amount of residential and retail, because it creates energy and a unique vibe. But if you add too much density without the infrastructure to support it, and suddenly everyone is yelling about traffic on Nextdoor and local Facebook groups, the Walgreens site may be one of the more important downtown properties to watch, because this site could completely transform downtown Naperville just like Water Street did 10 years ago. And this is exactly why I cover these projects, because by the time the construction fence goes up, half the conversation is already over. So if you want to stay ahead of what's changing in Naperville and the suburbs, make sure to subscribe and hit the button that looks like this, because it really helps me out. And that brings us to an ongoing issue, which is parking in downtown Naperville. Now, a working group has renewed discussion around a possible parking garage at the Nichols Library site in the downtown area. The idea would be to replace the surface slot on the north side of the library with a new garage adding around 500 parking spaces, which creates an additional 370 spaces from what is currently available there. The older 2007 estimate was almost $19 million, but adjusted to today's dollars, city staff estimates it could cost roughly $32 to $36 million with a refined estimate pending updated consultant work. Now, the city's 2026 to 2030 capital improvement program includes the Nichols parking deck, with design engineering currently targeted for 2027. Downtown Naperville attracts an estimated 9.5 million visits per year, and local business leaders say parking frustration is one of the top complaints from visitors. This is one of those topics where everyone agrees there's a problem until it's time to agree on a solution. We see the proposed build number, and everyone scoffs that it's too much money, and then the project keeps getting pushed. I say we do it, and we do it now. But Naperville and downtown area, it's become what it is because it's walkable, charming, active, and easy enough to visit. If people circle for parking too long though, they eventually go somewhere else, like the brand new Block 59 just down the street. That affects restaurants, retailers, events, the library, the Riverwalk, and the overall downtown activity. And remember, downtown strength affects property values. Homes near great downtowns tend to benefit from demand because people are not just buying bedrooms and bathrooms, they're buying the lifestyle and access to restaurants, coffee shops, Riverwalk, and the events. So a parking deck may not be exciting, but it's necessary for downtown Naperville's growth and future. One detail I found interesting, 2031 is a big milestone year for Naperville, the 200th anniversary of the city's founding, the 100th anniversary of Centennial Beach, and the 50th anniversary of the Riverwalk. Downtown leaders have expressed interest in having improved parking ready for that moment. The debate will be cost, design, traffic flow, and whether the garage fits the surrounding area, especially because this would be near residential pockets and of course Nichols Library. The timing and the urgency of this project are of the utmost importance. Now let's shift from construction to preservation. Oak Cottage, a vacant farmhouse near Naperville, has been a major topic for local preservationists. It was placed on a statewide list of endangered historic places in 2023. The original portion of the structure dates back to the mid-19th century with Greek Revival style characteristics. The Forest Preserve District of DuPage County has been exploring a proposal from James Privet to relocate and restore the farmhouse. His proposal includes moving the structure, repairing and restoring it with historically appropriate materials, applying for a National Register of Historic Places listing, working with the Illinois State Historic Preservation Office, and adding historic resignation through plaques and markers. I remember as a little guy watching homes be moved from what is now the Main Street Promenade in downtown, detaching the home from the foundation and moving it slowly down Washington Street. It was a major event back in the 90s and was pretty cool to watch. The potential relocation site is confidential, but district officials said 2 possible sites are within 2 miles of Oak Cottage. The proposal also includes a district contribution request estimated around $300,000, plus around 10 oak trees to help replicate the original landscaping. Now, preservationists, however, want the structure preserved where it currently sits, and this is where the conversation becomes interesting. This is not a direct property value story. In the same way as townhomes or downtown development, nobody's waking up tomorrow saying, great news, Oak Cottage moved 2 miles, my Zestimate has shot through the roof. But historic preservation does matter to community identity, and Naperville's value is not just schools and square footage. It is also the Riverwalk, downtown, neighbor settlement, mature neighborhoods, historic character, and the sense that the city has a real story behind it. Communities that protect their history tend to feel more established, more rooted, and more desirable, especially compared to areas that feel like they were built entirely from the same builder catalog and houses were thrown up overnight. So whether the Oak Cottage is restored on site or relocated responsibly, the key question is whether the public still gets meaningful connection to that history. If it's restored and interpreted that way, then the people can understand and appreciate it, and it's a win-win. So when you pull all of this together, it tells us Naperville is evolving in 5 different directions all at once. You have the new townhomes with buyers who want ownership without the heavy maintenance. You have apartments aimed at renters and working professionals who want access to retail, recreation, and convenience, of course. And you have a rare downtown redevelopment opportunity at the Walgreens site, along with renewed pressure to solve the downtown parking issue. And then you had the preservation debate over whether historic assets should stay where they are or be moved and reused. And with all of that happening at once, it all points to the same bigger issue. Naperville is trying to stay top of mind while dealing with the consequences of being desirable. Popular suburbs eventually face the same pressure. More people want in, land gets scarce, housing gets expensive, traffic gets worse, and every new project becomes a referendum on what the community wants it to be. For homeowners, this is why paying attention matters. Development can support property values when it improves amenities, expands housing choice, strengthens the downtown area, and reinforces the city's reputation. But development can also create friction when it overloads roads, strains parking, clashes with neighborhood character, or feels like it was approved without enough thought. And from a real estate perspective, this is where I think homeowners need to be careful. Don't assume every new project automatically raises values, and other projects like apartments and townhomes automatically hurts values. The real impact depends on location, price point, demand, traffic, school boundaries, and how the project fits into the surrounding area. But if you own a home in Naperville and you're curious how nearby development, new construction, or downtown changes could affect your value, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to take a look at your specific neighborhood and give you a realistic read, not a generic estimate from an algorithm online, but a real perspective from someone who grew up in Naperville and works these neighborhoods each and every day. But now I want to hear from you. Which of these projects will have the biggest impact on Naperville in your opinion? And are there any projects that you think are a waste of taxpayer dollars? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. And if you're in Chicagoland and want more breakdowns of projects just like this, make sure to like this video and subscribe. And if you want another example of a major infrastructure story that's reshaping demand across Chicagoland, watch this video right here, because that's the exact type of regional project that will affect bigger picture pricing in the Chicago suburbs. But for now, I'll see you on the next one.